Broadcasting a performance of Handel's oratorio L'Allegro ed il Penseroso in the edition prepared by Arnold Goldsbrough and Basil Lamb. The soloists are Jennifer Vivian and Anne Dowdall, sopranos, Maureen Lehane, contralto, David Gallagher, tenor, and Frederick Harvey, baritone, with the Ambrosian singers and members of the English Chamber Orchestra led by Kenneth Sillitoe. The organ and harpsichord continuo is played by Charles Spinks. The performance, which was recorded from a third program invitation concert in 1962, is of historic interest. It's conducted by the late Arnold Goldsbrough, who spent much of his life editing and performing the music of Handel. Handel composed L'Allegro ed il Penseroso in 1740, when he was 55, and completed it in the short space of 16 days. The text was prepared by Charles Jennens, who adapted Milton's two odes of the same name. The work was first performed at the Lincoln's Inn Theatre in London on the 27th of February, 1740. Those who are familiar with the two odes by Milton, which date from a century earlier, will know that they express two contrasted philosophies of life: the pursuit of pleasure, as typified in L'Allegro, and the more ascetic philosophy, as portrayed in Il Penseroso. Each of the two soprano soloists in the work is associated with one of these moods. It's known that Handel used some of his own orchestral music as an introduction to each part of the work. In this performance, we begin with the first movement of the Concerto Grosso in G major, Opus 6, No. 1. The following note has been supplied by Basil Lamb. Among the works in which Handel's poetic quality is most plainly to be felt is L'Allegro ed il Penseroso, a masterpiece from the time when he was writing his last operas. Once we've recovered from the effrontery of Charles Jennens in conflating Milton's two poems for the sake of a viable musical scheme, we must admit that he wins forgiveness for discerning that Handel would find in his text continual inspiration, whether descriptive or purely musical. What Milton offers in both poems is a sequence of landscapes, full of that unassertive yet profound sensibility which runs through English poetry from Chaucer to Hardy, nourished by the sweet, especial rural scene of England. Handel responds to all Milton's images as though he felt an affinity with the poet who, like himself, had retained through life the Mediterranean light he had absorbed in youth. Here now is the first part of Handel's L'Allegro ed il Penseroso, beginning with the first movement of the Concerto Grosso in G major, Opus 6, No. 1.
alone. Monst horrid shapes and shrieks and sights unholy, find out some uncouth cell where brooding darkness spreads her jealous wings, and the night ravens sing. As